Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, and air restoration, flood and remodeling services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Trebas Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
An unexpected change in leadership for San Diego County will come in the new year. Thank you for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. San Diego County Supervisor Nora Vargas says she will leave office in January. KPBS reporter Katie Anastas says the District 1 supervisor cited safety concerns.
Vargas won re-election in November, earning 62% of the vote. Her district includes Imperial Beach, Chula Vista, National City, and San Ysidro. Vargas says she will not take the oath of office for a second term for, quote, personal safety and security reasons. Vargas's office has not responded to requests for additional details about the security concerns. Public records show the county paid more than $38,000 for a month of services from Allstate Security for Vargas in October. KPBS has reported on threats and profanity at County Board of Supervisors meetings. Earlier this year, a University of San Diego study found that nearly 70% of female elected officials in San Diego, Imperial, and Riverside counties reported threats and harassment.
46% of the women who we surveyed said that they had considered leaving public service as a direct result of the threats and harassment, and that compares to about 39% of men.
She says the type of harassment women experience is different too.
Women tend to be harassed or threatened in ways that are much more about their appearance, about their family, and in ways that have much more of a sexual undertone to them.
In a statement, Vice Chair Tara Lawson-Remer said in part, quote, I greatly appreciate Chair Vargas's service to the county and our community, and I hope she finds resolution to the challenges with which she is grappling. Vargas was elected to the board in 2020, becoming the first Latina to serve on the board. She's been the board's chair for the last 2 years. Board policy says the remaining supervisors can either appoint a replacement, call a special election, or both. Katie Anastas, KPBS News.
A spokesperson from the San Diego County Sheriff's Office said that there are no known or active threats toward Chairwoman Vargas or any of the county supervisors.
We had some very dense fog to start off our Friday, and there's still the potential of some of that working its way right along the coastline as we head through tonight, though many spots will stay clear. We'll be talking about what your full forecast brings towards the weekend coming up.
And as you just heard, the dense fog this morning caused a massive travel delay at the San Diego International Airport. And those delays are stretching into this evening with more than 100 flights canceled as people try to get away or get home for the holiday. KPBS reporter Alexander Nguyen went to the airport and talked to some of the affected passengers.
The delayed American Airlines flight 2366 is now immediately departed.
This was a familiar announcement at the San Diego International Airport today. Hundreds of flights were delayed because of a dense fog advisory, reducing visibility to a quarter mile or less.
Again, sorry for the inconvenience.
As flights resumed mid-morning, passengers were shocked, bewildered, and amazed by the long lines snaking through the terminal. Some passengers took advantage of the delays to get some work done.
San Diego Airport's got good Wi-Fi. That's a plus.
Carter Krause was supposed to fly to Seattle at 7 o'clock this morning, but his flight was repeatedly pushed back.
Now my flight's been pushed back to 3. I changed again to an earlier flight. That flight got pushed back to 4. I've changed to an earlier flight to 3, so that's where we're at.
Ravens fan Ethan Hawkins was also supposed to fly out at 7 this morning. He was in town for a work conference.
I'm very tired because I woke up very early this morning and dealt with all the ticket changes and stuff, so I could have just slept in and not been tired.
Today is the busiest travel day of the holiday season. Airport officials expect to see about 80,000 passengers per day through the new year. They say to give yourself plenty of time for any unexpected delays.
There are a number of delays. We just really appreciate people's patience.
Nicole Hall is the spokesperson for the airport. She recommends planning ahead before heading out.
If you have a flight, make sure you check your flight schedule. Make sure your flight's on time. We've had a number of delays due to weather, which is impacting already an anticipated busy travel season.
The National Weather Service expects some patchy fog this evening and tomorrow morning, which means there could be more weather-related delays in store. Alexander Nguyen, KPBS News.
Late today, Congress passed a bill to prevent a government shutdown. All of San Diego's congressional delegation voted in favor of the revamped package, including 49th District Representative Mike Levin.
At the end of the day, we looked at what was in the bill and what wasn't in the bill, and we decided that it just was not worth shutting down the government for all the reasons we've discussed. We knew that at midnight tonight, if the government were to shut down, that our military, for me, my district with Camp Pendleton at the heart of it, with Marines and sailors having to work without pay, our air traffic controllers, our TSA agents, our Border Patrol agents all would have had to work without pay during the holidays.
The new bill includes $250 million for the South Bay wastewater treatment plan. The new funding bill is good until March. The U.S. could be ending 2024 on a relatively strong note, economically speaking. The Federal Reserve's go-to inflation released today. The personal consumption expenditures price index rose 2.4% last month. That is up from a 2.3% increase in October. But economists say it's still not as much as they were expecting.
We can talk until we're blue in the face about how inflation has come down from 9% to now below 3%. But the fact is, prices are still going up. They're going up the most on necessities that households buy. And your income may not have been able to keep up with that or may not have caught up to it yet.
Fed officials predict inflation will finally fall to its preferred 2% mark in 2027. Sweetwater Union High School District is moving forward with new cuts to Chula Vista High School schedule. KPBS South Bay reporter Corey Suzuki says students, parents, and teachers are worried those changes will hurt the school's renowned arts program.
Aaliyah Madrigal was at a concert. It was August of 2022, and one of her favorite rock bands was playing in the glow of more than a dozen spotlights at a huge theater in the North Park neighborhood of San Diego. But Madrigal wasn't paying attention to the band. She was watching the lighting technician who was sitting in front of them, operating the huge lights overhead that were flaring and changing color. Madrigal could see it, how the lights were affecting the mood and tone of the room.
I knew what he was doing, and I knew, what he was pushing and what it did and stuff. It made it feel really cool that stuff that other people don't, and it makes the show and everything look amazing.
Madrigal was still just a sophomore in high school, but already she had a deep understanding of stage lighting work. Madrigal says that's what you get when you go to SCPA, the School of Creative and Performing Arts at Chula Vista High School. For decades, the SCPA has been a big source of pride at Chula Vista High. It's the only dedicated art school in the district and includes classical and jazz bands, a theater program, visual arts, and a folklorico dance program. It's brought in national and regional awards. Hundreds of students have transferred to Chula Vista High just to take SCPA classes. A lot of this is especially possible because Chula Vista High runs on an 8-period schedule, which fits 2 extra classes into the regular school year. That means instead of taking just a handful of creative electives over 4 years, students get to dive deep into specific subjects. Quinton Rivera is a senior studying drama.
So the students have much more time to work with their instruments, work with the arts, and also still be able to balance out the academic work.
Teachers at Chula Vista High say they get a lot out of the 8-period schedule too, including more time to prepare for their classes. Several other school districts in San Diego County have similar schedules, including Poway and Coronado. This year, though, officials with Sweetwater Union High School District have been considering forcing Chula Vista High to end its 8-period schedule and go back to a more traditional 6 periods per day.
We've been hearing rumors for months that the district wanted to put CVH back on a 6-period day.
In January, Chula Vista High band teacher Debbie Nevin spoke at a school board meeting.
We don't know where this came from. The reasons have varied from money to data, but the Poway and Coronado school districts have figured it out, as well as a large number of San Diego unified schools.
That month, students organized walkouts, rallied outside the district offices, and spoke at school board meetings. 1,300 people also signed an online petition asking the district to reconsider. But last month, Chula Vista High School principal Jennifer Barker-Hines announced that they were going ahead and ending the 8-period schedule next year. In an email, she said they had made the decision after thoughtful evaluation of school-wide data. District officials still haven't explained in detail how they came to this decision. Like many other school districts, Sweetwater is facing a major budget shortfall this year. But the superintendent declined to comment, and members of the school board and Chula Vista High's principal did not respond to interview requests. In an email, a district spokesperson said the decision was based on the analysis of a working group, which had looked at academic performance data, enrollment trends, and budget impacts. But the spokesperson also didn't respond to further questions.
I feel like we've had no explanation.
Aaliyah Madrigal says many students and parents are still trying to figure out why this is happening. She doesn't feel like they've gotten a straight answer.
I feel like they're making it for their own personal gain. They're not necessarily thinking about the community or the students. They're more like, what's better for us right now?
Madrigal is a senior now. She's learned a lot more and had opportunities to work at the Old Globe and other theaters. When she graduates, she knows what she wants to do. She wants to be a lightboard technician, like the one at that concert in North Park 2 years ago. Madrigal says she feels ready for that because of her time in SCPA. She's sad that they're still having to fight to show why the program is important to so many people.
I don't think a lot of us would have the opportunities or be able to do what we've done if we didn't have this program and if we didn't have the schedule that allowed us to keep all of the classes.
Madrigal hopes district leaders will reconsider their decision. In Chula Vista, Corey Suzuki, KPBS News.
An estimated 160,000 people in San Diego County care for loved ones with dementia, according to Alzheimer's Association. KPBS health reporter Heidi DeMarco says for many caregivers, the holidays aren't about travel or parties, but managing extra caregiving challenges during an already stressful time.
Judith and Ray Klein have been married for 53 years. They live in Ramona. For years, every holiday season, they travel to New Jersey to visit family. That recently changed.
He got lost in the airport 4 or 5 times, and he was gone for a long time. I was pretty frantic.
Ray was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease in 2022. Since then, travel has become too risky.
I didn't want a repeat of that thing. So given my reluctance and his reluctance, we just decided not to do it anymore.
Their experience reflects a national trend. About half of U.S. caregivers avoid travel. That's according to a national survey by AARP. If in-person visits aren't practical, the Alzheimer's Association suggests virtual holiday celebrations.
They FaceTimed us last year, and it was joyous. It was so much fun.
Another tip is to focus on things that bring happiness.
Ray loves the tree. He turns it on every morning.
The tree has become a symbol of comfort in their home. Last year, they took it down in April.
When 2 or 3 days had passed that he hadn't turned it on, I was like, tree's gone.
This year, they took the tree topper down because the blinking lights felt overwhelming to Ray. If evening confusion and agitation are a problem, the Alzheimer's Association recommends a holiday lunch. Judith keeps the holidays simple now. She focuses on traditions that are comforting for both of them.
But I need to balance asking for help. If my house isn't totally fluffed for Christmas, that's okay. It's enough.
They cook together, and she makes bracelets to relieve stress.
Holiday music helps, and presents.
Judith says she's learned holidays don't have to be perfect. They just have to be meaningful. Heidi DeMarco, KPBS News.
The stores where we buy Christmas gifts are a landscape of neural stimulation that may or may not entice us to spend our money. KPBS SciTech reporter Thomas Fudge has this report on the brain of a shopper.
There are a lot of good places to Christmas shop, but if you're a UCSD alumna, the campus bookstore might be a good place to start. That's where I met Uma Carmarker, a neuroeconomist and a professor at the Rady School of Management at UC San Diego.
So if I'm thinking about what someone might be doing when they're browsing, I could come across a display like this, and it could be that the thing that I like best is maybe even that surfboard t-shirt over there.
She says she's averaging all these items in her site. Maybe she figures they're all about 7 out of 10 on the scale. but you want to find that thing that's 10 out of 10. When we shop, context and environment play a big role.
We're processing so much information. So there's the lighting and the other shoppers and even just all the different products sitting around. And that's a tremendous amount of work for your brain to do.
Carmarker studies shopping decisions in people using MRI scans and by observing eye movement. Reward impulses fire in the ventral striatum, what she calls the I like it part of the brain. She says retailers are likely to hide the price tag if it's the kind of product you may fall in love with. Let them worry about the price later. In the retail landscape, she says the brain is taking it all in, seeing utility, emotional rewards, and maybe some great deals. If we have a gift idea, we're less likely to buy it if we see it surrounded by a wide variety of stuff.
So if I see a sweatshirt with other sweatshirts, I'm getting the impression that I'm making a sweatshirt decision. So I'm actually more likely to buy a sweatshirt when it's with similar types of products.
She says retailers can manipulate the shopping environment in the way they display items or draw attention to or away from the cost. Roger Hailstork, director of the UC San Diego bookstore, says they have some ways of getting a product into a shopper's head.
We'll try to make sure that we put it in our designated traffic patterns, which are kind of the front of the store or along our aisle walking to the back of the store. So we'll reconsider something if we think it's a good seller.
Carmarker says retailers may not want to hide the price tag if the item is not something you'd fall in love with, like a pack of batteries. Just show them the price and make sure it's cheap. Thomas Fudge, KPBS News.
Sailors aboard USS Abraham Lincoln are back home in San Diego just in time for the holidays. They returned today after a 5-month deployment in the Indo-Pacific amid escalating tensions in the Middle East. Our media partner KGTV was at Naval Air Station North Island, where eager families waited to reunite with their loved ones.
I'm pretty excited. Haven't seen them in a pretty long time. I'm pretty proud of them. It's a huge sacrifice having to move away from your family and come to a new state and then having to go on the ship for half a year or if not longer.
Sailors and Marines of the Abraham Lincoln Carrier Strike Group conducted more than 9,000 operations while on deployment. There are currently over 1,000 animals at the San Diego Humane Society, and almost every one of them could benefit from a foster home. Fostering animals has become a family affair for an East County family. KPBS reporter Melissa May visited their home recently.
The Lizarraga family home is full. There are 2 adults, 5 children, and no shortage of animals. They have 25 of their own, plus 12 foster puppies and their mama. Their front and backyards are kid and animal friendly. And inside, clean cages with bunnies, guinea pigs, and birds are arranged around the house. Dogs wander between your legs, cats appear out of bedrooms, and photos of their family cover the walls.
So, lots of animals, lots of cages to clean, lots of picking up poop, and that is the kids' job, and they do it very well. So, and I just think it's such a healthy way for kids to grow up. Like, lots of responsibility, lots of lives depending on them, and they do a lot of hard work.
The family first got involved with the San Diego Humane Society in 2022 when they adopted Ozzy the Pit Bull. He sparked the children's interest in fostering.
It's one of the only ways that like us as kids can really be a part of helping with the Humane Society.
The Humane Society says there is a huge need for foster families to help care for the influx of animals in the shelter. The biggest need is for mama dogs and their puppies. Like the Lizarraga's most recent fosters, playfully named the Baker's Dozen. There's Mama, Donut, and
Boston cream, and this is chocolate.
12 puppies is a lot. It's a lot of poop. It's a lot of cleaning. It's them crying and wanting to go out to go potty during the night. It's sometimes diarrhea, sometimes throwing up, sometimes hard things. And a lot of people don't want to do hard things. And I say, bring it on.
I help clean after the puppies, and I help take care of them. I bathe them and do their nails and things like that. I help with night feedings and morning feedings, especially when we have bottle babies.
The Humane Society says unwanted litters are one of the top reasons people give up their pets.
These animals have no one else. It's not their fault that they're in this situation, and they deserve as much love and companionship. And we can't help all the animals in the shelter, but we can help some.
The family has fostered over 70 animals in their East County home over the last 2 years. Karen says that's meant an increase in their water and electricity bills, but they get help paying for the animals' basic needs.
The Humane Society gives you all the food, all the formula, all the vet care. So they go back into the Humane Society every 2 weeks, and they have whatever treatments they need done while they're there. So all their shots, all their flea and tick prevention, all of their deworming.
Olivia says it's rewarding to see an animal she's cared for be adopted.
One of the best parts is just being able to be a part of their lives. And when you see like the joy of a family when they get that puppy that you've loved and now they love, it's the best feeling in the world.
People interested in fostering animals can fill out an application on the Humane Society's website and take a few online training courses. Melissa May, KPBS News.
We are not only headed into another weekend, but it's also somewhat of a holiday weekend for many, which means things are going to be busy, especially if you're trying to travel. But if you are headed out early, much like this morning, there is still the potential for some dense coastal fog as we head through your Saturday morning. I think it's going to be a little bit less than what we saw this past morning, but do keep in mind that will be one of those concerns just to start off your weekend. Onshore flow, though, does return this weekend, and that should help to limit how much fog could develop then on Sunday, too. And as we go into Tuesday, the 24th, we'll be talking about some light rain showers as cool air follows for the 25th. First up, though, tonight, you can see that low, 48 degrees in San Diego. Notice there will be some more clouds here towards the coast. Those icons kind of hinting at that potential for the dense fog that we are likely to see, at least in some locations right near the coastline. So it's going to be pretty limited who gets impacted. But ultimately, we do come in with more onshore flow returning for our Saturday in advance of that storm system pulling off towards the north. It's going to take aim on Northern California and Oregon and Washington. So for us, we won't see too much of a change in our weather setup as far as precipitation is concerned, but it will mean that we will change into some more sunshine later on in the day. We'll try to get rid of more of that fog. 60 for the high in San Diego as we head through tomorrow. Mount Laguna coming in at 49 and Ramona headed to 65 for the afternoon. As we transition through the weekend, few more clouds return with that storm system working its way to the north there. And so that means we will finish off at least Sunday still largely dry for the weekend, but a few extra clouds. Monday, notice the clouds are still with us, and actually there's another storm system that comes on Tuesday. That's where we could pick up, especially for our inland communities towards the mountains. Maybe just a few sprinkles on Tuesday. Very light precipitation is possible there in the form of some rain showers. Temperatures, though, staying in the 60s for the inland communities through the week to come, and that includes then for the mountain communities. Notice our numbers here, roughly in the 40s or 50s. Again, watch out Tuesday. Could be that stray sprinkle out there. Desert communities, though, probably staying dry throughout the week. For KPBS News, I'm Melissa Constanzer.
KPBS Cinema Junkie is kicking off a brand new monthly video podcast with midday movie critics. Here's a sneak peek from the premiere episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Cinema Junkie presents the Midday Movies Christmas Smackdown. Representing Christmas cheer and all things warm and fuzzy is Yazdi Pathabala of Movie Wallahs. And decking the halls with Christmas carnage and Yuletide action is Beth Accomando, the KPBS Cinema Junkie. Refereeing today's match is Midday Edition host Jade Hindman. The contest, 3 rounds, no disqualifications, no holds barred Christmas face-off. Jade, take it away.
In 3, 2, 1. You're listening to KPBS Midday Edition. I'm Jade Hindman. With Christmas around the corner, Midday Movies wanted to highlight not just some holiday favorites, but the contrasting tastes of our movie critics. So today, KPBS Cinema Junkie Beth Accomando and Movie Wallahs' podcaster Yazdi Pathabala will face off with some diverse offerings. Yazdi will be offering some holiday cheer, while Beth will be arguing for Christmas action and horror. So Beth and Yazdi, welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm ready for the ring bell. I feel like we need to add that in.
Kick it out.
Yeah. To start this discussion off, we need to address the annual question of, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
This is John.
Nice beer.
He just wants to spend Christmas with the family.
Is Daddy coming home with you? We'll see what Santa and Mommy can do.
Beth, I think you made your stand on this clear in the past.
Yes, I have. So Die Hard is absolutely a Christmas movie. It tops the list that my son and I have for Christmas action films. We do 12 days of action Christmas every year. So not only is it set at Christmas, but the setting of Christmas plays a role in this as well. There's an office party that provides a key component to the plot, and it also raises the holiday themes about family.
Come out to the coast. We'll get together, have a few laughs.
And it has the gift of Alan Rickman. And I mean, nothing says Christmas better than this.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho.
Well, that officially makes it a Christmas movie, in my opinion, Beth. I'm with you on that one.
Yes.
All right. Yazdi, what do you think of Die Hard?
It's the only time today that I'm going to agree with both of you. It is a Christmas movie. Let me just say this. Desert Island picks. If I had to watch a movie every day for the rest of my life, as long as I live, Die Hard.
Okay. All right.
And for the record, I agree too. You can find the full video podcast at kpbs.org/cinemajunkie. And you can find tonight's stories on our website, kpbs.org. Thanks for joining us. I'm Maya Trabulsi. Good night.
Major funding for KPBS Evening Edition has been made possible in part by Bill Howe Family of Companies, providing San Diego with plumbing, heating, and air restoration, flood and remodeling services for over 40 years. Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE or visit billhowe.com. And by the Conrad Prebys Foundation, Darlene Marcos Shiley, and by the following. And by viewers like you. Thank you.